this studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Well, hello there.
And we're back.
We are back.
We're back. It's been a while since I've seen you last.
It has been a while. Mason, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
You may ask me a question. But just one.
Honestly.
Right.
You think we're ever going to have robots in our time? In our lifetime? Capable robots. I'm talking about these guys can move like us. Anthropomorphic. We can get freaky with them. What are your thoughts?
I'll put it this way. I'm optimistic about the future, Cash. So to answer your question, yes, I do believe that we will see robots. We may be 50 or 60, but
fully functional,
yes,
though.
Fully functional.
Walking around. You're talking about iRobot robots?
iRobot robots.
Wow.
Yes.
You are too optimistic.
Completely.
There's some things I believe. I believe we will go to Mars. I believe we will. But I just cannot. I just don't see the technology isn't there yet.
Have you seen the robots of today?
Those
dog robots that can open doors
impressive.
And stuff. Oh, come on. For 2018,
that's what I'm
2019.
saying. Those robots I can see. It just seems like people aren't putting enough. They're not putting in the effort that we used to think about
because
robots.
we're scared. We're very scared of robots.
We're very scared about.
Ever since the Terminator.
We're scared about AI.
Thanks a lot, James Cameron.
It's AI we're scared about.
Right, in general.
Yeah, I'm not as scared. These robots I'm seeing right now, the ones you can like push over and they get back up. You know those videos?
Yeah.
Those ones are the ones we should be scared of.
Right.
Because those ones are being pushed around all day. Eventually, they're gonna break.
They're gonna snap.
They're
just
gonna
like
snap,
any person. They're
yeah.
gonna snap and they're gonna hurt you.
But I just don't see it. I just don't see it being like a functional thing yet.
Genetic
There's
modification. I really believe.
There's so many things against
50 years. We will have cyborg bodies.
As soon as we get robots, why are we gonna need humans?
Well, no. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take that technology and we're literally going to become the body of like robots. I think this is actually in the future. I think this is more 200 years in the future for this kind of movie. But I think we're gonna be
that makes a little more
biologically
sense,
made up. But it's
I believe
it
is
with
the next
technology.
Evolutionary step. Will be it's either gonna be us creating robots, them killing all of us,
exactly,
or us slowly becoming robots, which would be awesome.
It would be pretty cool.
Be very cool.
I'd like to live forever because who knows?
I'm not too keen on the idea.
Everyone's that way. It's
I
so
basically
weird.
had enough. As a
young man, you're just like,
I think I've seen enough.
Had enough.
I think
of
I've seen
shit.
enough.
Like,
yeah.
let me just.
I'm
good
so far.
You've seen enough movies in your 24 years of existence.
Well,
25?
movies. I can never see enough movies, but I've seen enough of this grand movie we call life.
Okay, wow.
This is a movie it's not as exciting as I.
You're ready for the end credits to roll.
I really thought
the screen to go black.
It's pretty boring, yeah. But
that's deep. That's deep.
It is deep. But yeah, so robots. You say yes.
I say yes. I'm very optimistic.
I say nay. But
what say you?
It's not. I don't see it right now. I just don't.
Well,
I hope so.
Okay.
They're just so clunky at this point. Let me say,
as of right now,
I had a robot Sapien. You remember those toys of kids? The robot you can control.
Yeah.
Very clunky.
Right.
Very problematic.
You gotta think about humans, man. Look at the 1900s. We barely even had cars to start out the 20th century. 100 years later, we got robots. Even if they are clunky as fuck, imagine 60 years from now.
Yeah,
what
bro.
we'll be able to
but look at the 1950s. Everyone said we were gonna have fucking robots by the 80s. Look at everyone said we're gonna have flying cars by the fucking 80s. Don't tell me that because 50 years ago, people, trust me. I mean, in the 20s, look what they were writing about in the 20s. I mean, in the 80s, 60 years from now, they'd be like, oh man, we're gonna have all kinds. We're gonna be eating little pills for meals.
We still got 20 years to be 60 years from the 80s. So
Yeah, but from 1920,
pills,
60 years. I mean,
from the Back to the Future
none of the
reference.
shit that they thought was going to happen happened. Besides internet. No one saw that bitch coming.
Yo, bro, we got laced up self-lacing shoes, man. We are living in the future.
Self-lacing shoes you got to pay $300,000 for. No one has them.
I don't.
You have to win them.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, that is true.
You're talking about the Nike self-lacing.
Right, the Nike self-lacers.
They made like 800 of those.
Yeah.
So no, the future
Just
ain't
for
here.
the sneakerheads. Yeah.
I mean, look what Back to the Future tried to predict. That Biff Tannen world in Back to the Future 2.
Yeah.
Didn't really happen.
Didn't happen. The style was definitely not there either.
Didn't happen. Although Biff Tannen does have some similarities to the guy leading the country right now in Back to the Future 2. They're very similar people. They both made giant towers for themselves.
That is true.
They both have odd hair.
Very odd hair. Yeah, I would say.
But why did I ask you about these robots? Why are we talking about robots today, Mason?
Because we are reviewing Alita, Battle Angel.
Battle Angel.
Which is like, what, 28 years in the making?
The much anticipated movie.
Cyborg film?
Based off the
Anime.
popular manga.
Yep.
By writer, let me butcher his name real fast. It was
this will be fun.
I don't even Yukito Kishira. That's not too bad.
That's not bad at all. You actually did a much better job than I could have ever done.
Yes.
So
well, you're
good on you.
I know you're very, very
Terrible.
white.
I'm very white.
But yes, directed by Robert Rodriguez, a director that's very hit and miss to some people. A director I like. He's directed Sin City, the first one. I liked. I liked a lot the first Sin City. He's directed Dusk Till Dawn, great vampire movie, but it is also produced by James Cameron.
Right, and that's the big name right there.
Yeah,
you always want to get your projects tied with James Cameron.
James Cameron, who's been trying to make this movie for 20 years now, right?
20 plus, yeah. Closer to 30 years.
He bought the rights, and in 2000 they made the domain name. Or they bought the domain name Battle Angel in 2000 when the internet was early.
Wow.
Yeah. So they had that for a while now, and it's been in development hell ever since.
Right.
He's a busy guy.
Very busy.
He's got a submarine. He's got to go to the bottom of the ocean. He's got to make avatars.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been putting.
He's got to make 8 of those.
He's got to make. Yeah. But let me give you the synopsis for Alita.
Let's hear it.
Alita is a creation from an age of despair found by the mysterious Dr. Ito. While trolling for cyborg parts, Alita becomes a lethal, dangerous being. She cannot remember who she is or where she came from, but to Dr. Ito, the truth is all too clear. She's the one being who can break the cycle of death and destruction left behind from Terrifi. What were the bad people called? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Bad people, basically.
Bad.
Basically, a doctor finds this robot lady. He remakes her, right? And she's a powerful, powerful weapon.
Yeah.
What did you think about this movie, Mason?
This was a confusing movie for me. Just, there were parts I really enjoyed, and then there were parts that I was just like, I could live without. You know? I felt like the story, a lot of the stuff that they put in the story felt like they were kind of like just kind of threw it in there just to kind of get the story moving.
Yeah, to me,
none of it was really explained.
To me, the action,
you just can't throw 20, 25, 63 at me and expect me just to believe everything as far as technological
like
advantage.
I'm not sure what the thinking of the time was, but
you got to give me a
if
little
you're asking me by
science
2563, if we don't have fucking robots, I will be very upset.
Well, right, yeah.
That's
post-mortem, very upset.
But yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. The action scenes were good, but as soon as there was any story or dialogue, that was the weakness of the movie. Oh man, did it suffer. Action scenes were good, but anything that has to do with story, timing, everything
I wasn't super invested
off.
into any character. I didn't care if any of them died.
It was one of those movies where I was entertained for the majority of the time, but I still came out just thinking, oh, that was all right, even though I was entertained the entire time.
Exactly.
It's one of those movies where it just wasn't enough. Where it was like every time you saw an action movie, oh, that's awesome. But as soon as you heard them speak, it just fucking brought you back down to earth. And you're like, oh, this movie's not very good. Yeah. I remember now this movie's just...
Yeah, we're in the same camp.
Yeah. But it was... Honestly, I went in there thinking I was going to hate it, and I probably ended up liking it a little even more than than I thought.
Than you anticipated.
Yeah, I thought going in there was gonna be horrible because it's even getting not horrible reviews right now.
Yeah, it's sitting at a steady 60%.
But it has like a 98% user review.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how so. I mean, I would not classify this as a 98 by any means.
Because I would just have to take a leap and say regular users aren't noting dialogue or anything. They're kind of just going for the not to downplay the usual. Yeah. But
and not only that, but you probably have a lot of anime fans going and seeing this too. Because wasn't this a pretty popular?
It's a 9-volume series, but I can't imagine anime fans going into this and liking it. I mean, I'm guessing it's not real true. Although I've never read the anime.
No, neither.
But I have to say, just by experience, usually from the book to movie, the book fans are usually not pretty happy about it.
You know, do you remember us reviewing, and this is like one of the first films we reviewed on this podcast, but it was called Ghost in a Shell.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson. I got the same kind of feel for that, whereas like, I didn't hate the film, but I just didn't care about the characters.
That one, we definitely had our problems with 93% user review.
That's incredible.
But we had
that's really high too.
With Ghost in the Shell. That was an anime, but I love the Ghost in the Shell anime. So seeing the Ghost in the Shell remake I absolutely hated. But I ended up liking this probably more than I liked Ghost in the Shell.
Oh yeah, so did I. Yeah, definitely.
If we're gonna do it like that, but there's some stuff that some things about this movie that I just hate that are movie cliches. I hate when movies don't have a like clear set rules for how the world works.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about with with the 2563 thing. I was like, you can't just throw that at me and then not explain anything of how the world operates in the future like this.
Exactly. I have the robots are very human.
No context.
No context as in how they really work or even how or why some people are robots, some people aren't. I don't.
Right. Did they was it something involving like medical where they had to transform into a cyborg? Like,
yeah, was the brain it doesn't even explain how they really die. The whole time I was wondering, like, well, do you have to kill the brain? But sometimes people are getting stabbed, robots are getting stabbed and dying.
Right.
But sometimes their entire brain is being pulled off their body and
especially
they're living.
Especially in the roller games when they were doing that and those bodies were exploding. It was like a modern day or advanced version of a gladiators.
But then you'd get that, and then you get the next scene where a robot would be stabbed in the stomach and he would just fall down dead.
And he'd be dead. Yeah. It was like,
and then another scene where Alita, she's pulling out her heart, but living fine.
Right, but it was still. I think because of that, though, it was still pumping. But
yeah, but then the big bad guy, robot, right? Mm-hmm. He gets his brain pulled off, or he gets his whole head pulled off,
right?
But he's fine.
And he's okay.
Like I can't stand when movies do not have clear cut rules of how things
people
are supposed
die
to work.
or what's going to happen. Right? No,
so
I totally agree.
So that was a confusion on my part for sure, and that kind of hindered the movie for me. But and like you said, the history of the world, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I didn't know the history of even the war necessarily. Like, we didn't even get a clear-cut answer on like why the Fall War happened.
No, and
not enough for me anyway.
So the movie, it opens up like you said, 2563, a big war fucking happened called the Fall.
The Fall, right?
No context. We eventually know it was people from Mars. What were they called? Like the MRA or something, the Mars Republic or some shit like that. Eventually, we know they were fighting people down on Earth. Mm-hmm. And they have this super crazy technology that's super advanced, right? That no one can figure out or anything. And somehow they lose this fucking war. Which
we don't know how either.
We don't know how. And spoiler, but eventually gets into Alita is developed from the Mars colony.
Exactly.
And she's super fucking advanced. Like, she can kill anyone. No one even close. No.
And she's the last one, too.
Yeah, but they had an army of these people.
Yeah.
And they lost.
Right.
Which is, again, as another part of the movie that did not. How'd they.
They had an army. They lost them all, but this one is supposed to take on this sky city of Salem.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense to me.
So the whole thing is there's a shitty city left on Earth.
Right.
That's where all the lower life forms are, all the regular people. And then there's
subhumans.
And then, of course, there's a rich city that lives directly above this city that's like flawless and no one's allowed to go to, called Xylem. Yep. And they dump all their trash onto this city right in the middle. Like, you would think maybe the city could move 30 miles to the east and jump like a death. But That's what rich people do, you know, they shit on the poor people.
And I'm not trying to shit on this movie the whole time because, like, I do think you should go see it. It is a fun movie. But another thing that really, like, frustrated me about this is the very opening scene where we do realize that this Sky City is dropping garbage on, right? Mm-hmm. And this war happened 300 years prior, keep in mind, because they brought that up twice.
It's a long time. It's to the point where people aren't really even sure why.
Right.
Or like,
but then the doctor goes to the junkyard and he finds Alita on top. I have a hard time believing that 300 years of junk and she's still on the top of the heap.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't have to do any burying or anything. And it would have been a simple scene to just have him move a few, but she was just laying there perfect.
But we don't know. We don't know when she died, right?
Right.
Of course, why would they?
No, we do, because the war was the last memories that she ever had.
Oh, yeah, and she did.
Yeah.
So it never, I don't know. It was lucky. Yeah, he just happened to
I do have a theory on that, though. I do have a theory, and I don't know how correct it would be, but I do have a theory that maybe the main bad guy put her there because he wanted her to be alive again. That's the only thing I can think of.
That's possible. You're talking about Edward Norton.
Yes.
It doesn't show to the very end. Who the whole time I'm thinking, that's got to be someone, right? The whole
exactly.
Time, but, man, he's aged. It's with glasses on, you can't tell. And he's got crazy white hair.
Right, of course.
But, Edward Norton. Yeah, but like you said, he finds this body laying right on top, right? And he immediately goes in and he fixes her up. Nothing really happens. It does not build anything before that.
Nothing.
There's no overlying credits, or
nope.
I guess it just tells about the war and everything. And that's Dr. Ito.
Yes, Dr. Ito.
Yeah. Which is a very Japanese name.
It is.
Played by Christoph Waltz. Which Christoph Waltz was the only actor keeping me in this at most of the time. Yeah. He's so good. He can turn a fucking turd into a diamond. Yeah. You can really put him on any dialogue and you're going to believe he's such a good actor, Christoph Waltz is. But
wasn't he in Inglourious Bastards?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was in, but I love that performance because he played the bad guy, Django.
Yeah. The doctor, Dr. Schultz.
That's right. I love Django. Jamie Foxx, great film.
Yep. So he finds her, and it's so. And in this part, they were almost going to talk about how the city floats because they never talk about how the city is suspended, how Xylem is suspended above.
My guess to that, which they didn't really bring it up, but my guess were those giant power wires. That was my guess.
Those weren't power wires. Those were things transcending like supplies up to the city.
Oh, okay. That's why they had the blades on them.
No, because in one scene there, and early on, they talk about, because she kind of asks about how the city, and he kind of just blows it off, and they go and get hot dogs or whatever, and then they meet the boy. That's right. Yeah. So that's the closest we ever get to any actual scientist. Yeah. Yes, and that's another thing that bothered me. Is some of the things were so technology advanced, and then some of the things were so dumb. Like, it's 2563, and they have pipes.
And this is the best way we do it. Yeah. And it's the best way to send supplies.
And their defense for people not climbing the pipes is they have these giant razor things. Very medieval that fall down instead of just, like, electrifying the pipes lines or whatever, frying anything that. And don't people have planes or whatever? Why aren't people flying up to Xylem?
No shit. Yeah, what happened to planes in 2563? Maybe it was the new Green Deal.
We have these. Could be. Hey, don't get me started. But I mean, we have robots fucking pumping CO2 out by the. Why don't? I mean, and they all have those one wheel like transports, whatever. Unicycle, motorcycle. There's no planes though. So the whole premise is no one can get to Xylem if you're down on the ground because you're trash, and don't want trash up there. And they can live forever when you're in Xylem. Mm-hmm. They're rich.
They're the upper class.
Yeah, they're the upper class. They have everything. But, and everyone wants to get up there, right?
Right.
And Dr. Ito, we later find out, we can just jump around, he's from Xylem. Originally from Xylem. And all the Xylem people have this little jewel thing in their head.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Jennifer Connelly had that jewel in her head too, yeah.
Well, yeah, because she was up there also, yeah. Right. But I don't know why they have that jewel thing. It never made sense to me. They never explained it, right?
No, they didn't. Not that I remember.
But it was
just to show that they're upper class.
It was a clear indicator of who's from Xylem and who isn't, right?
Yeah.
So that happens. He rebuilds her. He doesn't tell her anything. Of course, big secret. We see that he's got some emotional problems. He's got some loss, right?
And when she gets reborn, necessarily, I like how she just didn't even like question him or anything. Like immediately, he's like, "Stay home." She's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, you've been dead for 300 years. You were a battle angel, and you're just gonna take orders.
Well, she
from
doesn't know.
this
She doesn't have
doctor?
any memory.
Right,
No
yeah.
memory. And what we learn early on is people are being murdered at night by someone. Was it robots being murdered, or was it just regular people in general?
I think it was both, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They were
maybe.
like half human, half robots.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess,
cyborgs, yeah.
So I still don't understand.
Still don't understand.
Some of the robots are completely human from neck up, and then I don't. Are these things? Do they have sex? Are they fucking? Are they?
I don't think so.
Because
but that guy was so concerned about his
another
face.
thing that had me problem is they eat. They eat food.
They eat too, and they have taste buds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, it was so.
And they need sleep and shit. So why even are you a robot? What's
the point of being a cyborg? Where are the benefits for being a cyborg besides the fact that you may have gained a few points in strength?
And the whole. Okay,
you still have to do everything a human does.
And you still die the same too.
Right.
I mean, I guess, but you can be upgraded to a big robot.
Fucking Christ! Yeah, that one robot was huge. I'm like, dude, chill.
I love how the bad robot his name is like Grinchka. That's his name.
Yeah, Grinchka.
I love how when they first introduced him, he's wearing the cloak, but he's like 12 feet tall, 8 feet wide, and he's wearing a cloak. Like, oh, who the fuck is that guy? Yeah. Like, we're gonna see him and not know immediately that's Grinchka.
It almost reminded me of Kingpin from the Spider-Verse movie. How big and wide he was.
Well, he was hiding under.
He was just disproportionately sized compared to everyone else.
Everyone in the city is gonna know who it is. You're not hiding yourself wearing the fucking cloak. What are you?
So you're trying to be nonchalant, just walk down the street, 12 feet high.
But so people are getting murdered. Dr. Ito tells her not to go out
after dark. Right? Yeah, not
to
stay out.
And at this
after
point,
dark.
he introduces her to the love interest,
right?
Who is just the worst. He only does stupid shit. It's just one of the most cliche.
It is.
Lazy.
It's so cliche.
He's only doing stupid. He's constantly getting in trouble. It's such an old cliche where it's like, it's like the damsel in distress, although the roles are switched. Yes. But he is constantly just doing the dumbest shit. Yeah. For no reason. At the end, with him like walking up the pipe, and it's just it makes you frustrated.
Well, and then working, of course, I saw that coming too, where he was going to be working with the bad guys.
Yeah,
and capturing cyborgs.
He's very
for
one-sided,
their parts.
And his dialogue is horrible too. I mean, it's nothing against the kid. The kid, actor himself,
he's
might
a good
be all
actor,
right, but yeah, nothing really moved on. Yeah, so we meet. I can't remember his name. What's the
boy's name? Zappin? No.
That's
the bad guy.
Hugo. So she meets Hugo, and he plays this motorball sport, which I love. I love when movies try to make future sports or new sports or whatever. And I love that the fact the year's 2563 and rollerblading is still like the peak of technology.
Right.
Like there's that's a sport, and the sport is so lame too. There's almost no concept or rules to it. Basically, it's this team. They're chasing around this motorball. They're chasing around in this kind of arena. I guess there's some jumps.
It's like rollerblading, but like gladiator.
Except it's not like that. It's literally one guy has a ball, everyone's just chasing that guy around
to kill him. Yeah,
and just there's no roll. You're just trying to get the ball from any means, and they're on rollerblades. Yes. And they have to throw the ball into like this hoop.
But they don't even throw it; they just place it in there.
And most of the time, they're not even doing. They're just running around. Like, why aren't they just not going directly toward that thing and throwing it in? Most of the time, they're running around for no reason. It is ridiculous, but it's the future, and that's what everyone does in the city. It's motorball. Correct. Everyone does it. And the only way you can get up to Xylem is if you got to go pro motorball and you got to win the championship.
Correct.
Which is everyone.
You got to work your way up like any other sport.
And don't even get me started. Once you get in the pro league, there's even less rules and structure.
No, there's nothing. It's literally a free for all.
There's not even the ball. It's not even a concept of scoring. It's just who can doesn't make a lot of sense.
No.
But so they play, and then she's good at motorball, right?
Yeah.
She's got some kind of power.
She's good at everything that she does.
A ridiculous part in this is, again, this world had like no rules, is when they were rollerblading, and the kid that doesn't like her, the best friend, she like bumps into him and he does a total fucking front flip, just lands straight on someone, but gets up and he's perfectly fine. But yeah, so that's how we get introduced to Motorball, and Motorball plays a pretty big fucking role in this movie.
It actually does. Yeah, it comes into play quite a bit.
There was more a lot more Rollerball
than I
this movie
wanted.
Could have been. This movie could have been titled fucking Motorball.
Yeah,
The
Motorball.
whole goddamn thing is mostly revolves around that. But so we get past that, and then we eventually learn that Ito, Christopher Watts, he's a hunter killer.
Right, which is essentially a bounty killer.
Because there's no...
Or bounty hunter.
There's no cops in this city.
No.
They say there's no law, which
they're just
is surprising because mostly everyone... It seems like they're obeying the rules.
Yeah, for the most part, I'd say majority of people are, yeah.
Which is, you would think with no rules, they would just immediately slip into chaos. But people are still, taking out their trash.
Well, they've got those giant fucking robot guards with those machine gun turrets.
The fucking,
what were those things called?
I don't know, but they looked exactly like the Robot Cop robots from RoboCop 2. They were almost exactly. Yeah, I forgot about those guys. But they have those patrolling the city, and they also have hunter killers.
We'll just call them Centurions for right now.
I can't remember. They were fucking...
They're giant tanks, 4 legs with a machine gun on the top of it.
Yeah, very old school looking
very
robots
old school for 2563.
Yeah, exactly. But so if she finds out Ito is these guys right here.
There they are.
Does that
it does. It looks pretty damn close.
That looks exactly
the only difference is there's 2 guns on the arms with the guns on the top. But other than that, it looks exact same.
From 83 to 1963.
Yeah.
The robots stay the same. She finds out that Ito, he's a hunter-killer, but he does it just to protect people. Was that the story? Was that the reason he does it?
Yeah, that was the story.
And he kept it secret from her. And in a very manga-esque, he carries around this giant hammer type thing. And he's a badass.
Is he a Thor?
Yeah, no, it's a huge hammer, but it's very manga when you see it. But it's he's kind of a badass, right? He can kill anyone, and he's not a robot. He's human, and he's old.
He's human, completely human.
And he's old as hell.
Mm-hmm.
He's like 60 in this, and he's kicking ass. But yeah, he finds out. Oh, I guess, and it's to it's also to pay off because he runs a robot-free clinic. We forgot to introduce. Yeah. So he's a good guy.
Yeah, he is a good guy. Helping robots rebuild their broken parts. He's basically running a charity organization, though.
Pretty much, even though the robots are... But
they were paying him in fruit. How disrespectful.
That's all the money is back then, I know.
Damn it.
Fruit. And, and he runs it for kind of the criminals of the world also. I think it's mostly for criminals.
Right.
So he's kind of a good guy. But she follows him out. Alita follows him out one night. And he's following someone, but it's a trap, right?
Yes.
And then we also get introduced to the bad guys at this point, which is
Zappin.
Well, no, it's Vector.
Right,
who's played by Mahershala Ali, who's an amazing actor.
Yes, he is.
Who is pretty good in this. He plays a good guy, and Jennifer Connelly.
He's in House of Cards, actually.
Oh, is he?
Yes,
he is.
He
won an Oscar.
In the later seasons. But
he won an Oscar a couple years ago for
Moonlight.
Which was awesome, yeah. And he was in, have you seen Green Book?
No, that's a new one out right now. I heard it's amazing.
It's so fucking good. It's good.
I needed
to watch that.
Him
and Vigo are both amazing in it.
Vigo's in it, too.
Oh, Vigo. Oh, yeah. Vigo's awesome in it.
Aragon.
True story, too. Yeah. He's
Captain Fantastic.
He's big in this. He's supposed to play a bigger guy.
Oh,
the real guy. Yeah, he's big in this, but he's still fucking badass.
Like big as in buff or big as in fat?
Big and fat. He plays like an Italian in the 50s.
Oh, okay.
Like this. He's like this wise guy, kind of. He's like a bouncer or something.
Oh, okay.
It's like the 60s or whatever.
What is the premise of that film?
Oh, you don't know? It's a true story. So Mahershala Ali, he plays an African American. I think it's in the 50s. He's a really famous classical musician.
Okay.
And they're going down to the South to do a tour, Jim Crow and everything. And he hires Viggo Mortensen's character to be his bodyguard and driver. Oh. So they're going around, and it's super fucking racist, obviously.
Oh, obviously,
But Viggo Mortensen, he's got to protect him and everything. So he's being on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's
that
really
sounds like
good.
an interesting movie.
It's a crazy story, though. Yeah, it's a true story. But, yeah. So he plays Vector, who is the criminal warlord guy of the city, but he's also being controlled by the people in Xylem.
Right.
And yeah, I can't remember the main bad guy. Who does Edward Nova. Nova is the guy in Xylem that's controlling everything.
Right, through those glasses.
Yeah. And he can control people. Literally, he can like take their body over. Is that ever explained? Did I miss a part?
It's never explained.
Did I miss that part? When I saw it, I'm like, what is happening? Why is that happening?
I know.
Why is this so, like, can he do it to anyone?
I think if there's like any sort of technology, he can take you over.
Yeah, but did they even show that Vector had any kind of...
No, that's the weird thing. He just had those glasses on that at the very end of the film. That was it.
Yeah.
So it never jumps into it at all.
It's very odd. But Nova, he can control anyone. And he controls Vector most of the time from Xylem. And they're the bad guys. And they want Alita because Nova said, get them Alita. Because Alita has... Again, so does that poke a hole in your theory that he put her there? Because he wanted her the entire time. Nova did.
Yeah, it pokes a hole in it, but I'm just trying to... Dude, look, man, I'm just trying to grasp.
I'm just realizing, like, because the entire premise is he wants Alita.
He does want her, but I wonder if he wanted her alive for... I don't know. Maybe he couldn't find her. Now that he found her, he wants her.
So he didn't put her there then, if he couldn't find her.
Good point.
Yeah.
So my theory's already broke. Good job, Cash.
Yeah, well, I
halfway
just connected
through this review,
just
and you already
sure that.
Yeah. No, there are definitely some holes in that theory. So.
But she has a quantum or black matter heart that is ancient technology that only the Martians could have.
Correct.
And again, their technology is so advanced that no one can even, because they have an old Martian ship and no one can even figure it out. Even though the Xylem technology is, and where are the advancements? I mean, what's the difference? They look like they're pretty close when they're fighting.
Right.
How is it so advanced where people are like, I can't even
get it.
Yeah. We're not even going to try.
Later, yeah.
And we're skipping around, but one of my favorite parts is they go to the ship and it's so advanced, no one's been able to figure out no one can even get into the ship. And she walks in the ship and she turns the handle once and it opens up.
I'm like, okay, what is this?
Yeah.
And how irresponsible. If this is Martian technology, you just leave it there. You don't even hire a tow truck to tow that bad boy out of there.
Well, it's so advanced, we don't even know how to tow it.
Yeah, it's like, we can't even hook up straps to it. It's like, what the fuck is this? Like, what?
Yeah, so
just how irresponsible. Like, if a Martian ship crashed on Earth right now, we would do everything in our power to try to obtain that. They were just like, we'll just leave it in the water. Well, not only that, but
there's probably tons of these ships because they were having a war.
Exactly.
There's probably a ton, and no one has ever even got close to figuring out that technology.
No one had an inkling or an idea to figure out anything.
That's again, that was a huge problem I had with this movie, where I liked the action, and I liked the world. I liked the world itself. Yeah. The world itself seemed cool, even though it was all CGI. This movie's mostly CGI. I liked the world itself,
steampunk-esque,
but it gave us no history, no depth at all to
context,
the world. So we have nothing to build off. But
which is very shocking because I feel like James Cameron actually can build really good worlds.
Oh, he absolutely can, but I just don't understand. I mean, I'm sure the world building is there in 9 volumes of manga. I mean, I'm sure it's there. They just decided not to. I'm guessing.
Do you think this was just one giant setup for the sequel?
Well, that's what I thought. But to me, I thought
it almost felt like an origin story.
To me, I thought they were going to finish it. I feel like they got so far to where she was going to go up there. I feel like the sequel is going to be 15 minutes long. I mean, what's going to be the entire 2-hour-long process?
Maybe it's like a Maze Runner thing where it's like you finally get there and they're like, psych, just kidding.
Yeah.
Moving on to something else.
Well, let's talk about something good in this movie.
Yeah, because there are some good things about this movie.
The fight scene, that first one where she sneaks out and sees Ito get ambushed or whatever, and he's kind of getting his ass kicked. He's got the cool hammer. Valid, he's doing. I mean, he's doing all right for an old man. Yeah. But it's an ambush. There's like 3 other hunter killers, and they're all like the most badass robots.
Of course,
right?
Yep.
You got Grishka,
Zappin,
who was
he was a guy he was really concerned about his face. And
it
was only his face. Yeah.
And another girl robot who's got a praying mantis claws.
Right.
That was her, and they were gonna trap him and kill him. Yeah. She's not in it very long.
No, not very long at all.
But that's a really cool fight scene. He gets strapped, and then she comes out because she doesn't know she's a badass or whatever, and it's really well choreographed, and it's kind of brutal for being PG-13. This movie was
pretty brutal. Yeah, I got away with a lot.
Give it because
cyborgs.
They were robots in there, but it did show blood, and it showed that guy get cut in half. The friend
it did at the end. I know that one was very shocking.
And it was PG-13. It did.
That's a human.
Which gives, if you're gonna make PG-13, then make it like show blood, because there's some PG-13 movies
they won't
show anything. Like it's all under PG-13, so you might as well do the most you can do under PG-13. But so she ends up crushing, and she ends up she crushes the head of the one lady robot, which is why I thought, okay, maybe you have to kill the brain to kill these things.
That was my assumption too.
Grishka, the big robot, he's like 12 feet tall, 8 feet wide. He finally pulls his cloak off. Big reveal.
Yeah.
Oh, who the fuck is that?
Didn't know who that was. Didn't know you were a bad guy.
She kicks his ass. She has this ancient fighting style that we haven't talked about, but they just made it for these robots on Mars, and it's super. No one knows anything about it. It's super awesome.
No one can defend it either.
No one can defend against it.
Like Anderson Silva in his prime.
Oh yeah. But she beats Krishna. She tears his arm off. She beats up the pretty guy too, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
She beat up everyone.
He's got a sword also. We've got to mention. He's got a very powerful sword. A Mars sword, I think.
Yeah.
Can cut through anything.
Yes.
For not knowing the technology, a lot of people have Mars technology. Right. But
that was kind of frustrating though when she did knock the sword out of his hand and she didn't even pick it up and he grabbed it again. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why did you not grab that sword? Like that would have been the first thing.
She doesn't know, right? She didn't know. She doesn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
She was
it was all instincts for her.
Exactly. She didn't know. But even though she was a great fighter, Christoph Waltz tells her she can't do this anymore, right? Mm-hmm. It's too dangerous whatnot. And that but she wants to be a hunter killer. Right? She wants to go out.
That's what she wants to do.
Because she knows. Oh, and we got to say, when she started fighting people, she got this flashback for the first time, a memory.
That's right.
Of her fighting on the moon.
Yes.
It was on the moon,
that's
right?
Yeah.
Again, does not tell you why people were fighting on the moon.
Nope.
Does not
no context there.
No context of why the war was happening again. We don't know who these Martian people are.
No.
They got to be from Earth, right?
Yeah, if you're fighting on the moon too. I mean, I don't know.
But she gets her first memory, and then she's like, the whole thing is she wants to keep doing this because she thinks if she keeps fighting, she's going to keep getting memories, and she wants to unlock her past and find out who she is. And she kind of knows that Ito knows who she is, right? He knows the entire time, but he's keeping it a secret. So eventually she goes and she registers herself with the kid, right? As a hunter killer with Hugo.
Yep.
It's super fucking easy to register yourself.
Not that hard. I figured
they made it seem like it was
going
to be a big process. Like Ito was like, you can't do this. It's too crazy. You can't. And she just walks in and it's like going to the DMV.
Right.
There's not even a line.
Nope.
There's a lot of robots in there, but they're cool with it. They let her. Right. So she becomes a hunter killer, and then she goes to the bar. Was there any scenes in between that? I know I'm missing scenes with the love interest.
Dude, it's fine because it was lackluster.
I know.
I was not invested in that love interest at all. At all.
But
and he's like fully human, and she's like fully cyborg.
Exactly.
He was into her, and I'm like, bruh.
Exactly. The whole time you're thinking, what is it? Do they have parts? How do human? Exactly. And it just doesn't make any sense movie wise.
No, I thought it was very strange.
The whole time I was thinking that. Are they gonna fuck? Are they dry humping? I don't know.
I think that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they can still feel love and still feel emotions, I guess. I guess they can be together.
I guess.
It would never have worked though.
No, never.
But
the bar scene was awesome. Yeah. This was one of the highlights.
We have
to
say though, the big guy Gershinsky, whatever the fuck his name is, he limps away, goes back to Vector.
Yep.
Goes back to
humiliated.
Goes back to Jennifer Connelly. Right. Jennifer Connelly. She's
a smoke show. Is that what she's saying?
She's a fucking smoke show.
She
dude.
is. She is
unbelievable. She's older too. I mean, she's got to be 50 something.
49.
49. Yes. Yeah, but bruh.
Yeah, no, I know, dude.
Unbelievable. Well, she's working with Vector, and but she's also Idu's ex, Christopher Waltz X.
Yeah, which again,
complicated movie. This movie gives you a lot of information about the characters, no information about the world.
Right, and and they had a daughter together too that was brought up that looks like Alita,
and that was
was her name was Alita.
Yeah, and that was the whole reason he brought Alita. That we find out later was because he had a daughter.
Right,
he made a body for her because her body didn't work.
But I literally feel like Jennifer Connelly's character, what's her name, Sharon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like she gave two shits about the daughter or anything. Like she just did not care about that whole relationship.
No, it was a very one-sided character. That was
her and Ito,
like at all.
Yeah, no. I didn't see anything between them.
Exactly. Yeah, like
to show that they were in a relationship at one point.
For one, what an age difference. Christoph Waltz to Jennifer Connelly. I mean, but exactly, like we never got any that they ever loved each other. We don't even really get flashbacks ever of them like being together, like ever working together. Yeah. I guess it was kind of the mystery of where they came from and everything. Even though she had that jewel on her head,
still, yeah, and he surgically removed his.
But her whole motive in the movie is she wants to get back up to Xylem because that's where her life was, and they got ejected from Xylem. For some reason. Do we ever get into that either?
No.
Okay. Don't know that. They got ejected. She's working with Vector because Vector promises that he can get anyone in Xylem.
Correct.
Right? Oh, and the whole reason I've talked about is Draskinska. What I say his name different every time, but he comes back, gets a new arm. He's got a whip arm,
kind of like in the Octopus.
But the part we missed was they go to the Motorball Pro League. And they show all the professional players or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's how they get his arm.
That's right. Okay.
Because the arm is from the pro.
Right.
Yeah. And we find out that Hugo is also... He, mugs people for their robot parts.
Yeah, so
he's a bad guy. Yeah. He works for Vector.
He doesn't kill them, but he'll cut them up.
So it shows, he's
parts.
also working with which you already know Alita's not going to be happy about this.
Of course not. And his justification is, I needed credits to get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, pal.
But no one ever fucking leaves. No one's ever left. No. So I don't know what they're working towards or...
No idea.
So they go to Motorball. They kind of show how the Motorball works. It doesn't really make sense. They're pros, but the champion and the champion guy is played by a guy that's in a lot of stuff. But of course, it's just his CGI'd face.
Correct.
Onto
a cyborg.
Yeah. But so he gets a new arm. The big guy does, right? Grushinska gets a new arm and
shows up to the bar.
Yeah, well, first we got to talk about that bar scene. That bar scene was cool.
It was cool. That was one of the highlights for the film.
She goes to
this is awesome.
She goes to a hunter-killer bar to get recruits because they were going to take on Nova. I think.
Yes. She wanted to get everyone together to take on Nova.
Yeah. Remember? And no one's down with it. No one wants to do it. Everyone thinks it's retarded because you can't take on Xylem, I guess. And it's showing all the different kind of hunter killers. They all kind of have their own theme.
Yeah.
My favorite part, you already know, is the dog guy, the cow.
Okay, and I gotta talk about this guy. I wish he was in it the whole time. Yeah, I thought he was going to be a part of the group.
Character, yeah. So they're all robots.
Especially the end when the dogs are chasing him and everything. I'm like, oh, this is a good add-on to the character. This guy's funny.
As soon as you see him, it's hilarious because it's the future, and he's still a cowboy, and he's got a bunch of robot dogs, and that's his whole thing. He hunts with dogs,
right?
And he's even called something. They all have these cool bounty hunter names and everything. But I was pissed because. And he liked that one dog that got killed.
Right.
So I'm like, he's got to get revenge on this. The whole time I'm thinking, when's this guy going to jump in? Never.
I know. I thought he was going to be a part of the team. Yeah. It was so frustrating. I was like, where is the cowboy at? Because he was one of my favorite roles. One of my favorite parts, man.
He's got an off. Yeah. But she meets all of them, and they get into another cool fight scene. A cowboy guy doesn't fight her, though. No. Never fights, but they fight. It's another cool fight. She again beats the shit out of the pretty boy. Yeah, she beats the shit out of everyone. And but who shows up?
That choreography was cool though. It was awesome.
The fight scenes, that's the high point. Yeah, that's the high point of these movies.
And that's why that's why it is fun to go to and watch.
Yeah, exactly. Those scenes make it, somewhat worth it. But yeah, so they go and the Grushinska, he shows back up. He's got a new arm now. And and he keeps jumping underground. We forgot to tell you that. He keeps that's where he's from. He's from the underground.
The underground.
And I like how in that bar, that was just there's one wood floor of you preventing you from falling 80 feet to your death.
And then I like how they kind of had
and they're all robots. They got to be heavy.
Yeah,
it's so
heavy as hell. I like how he was like, yeah, we just build on top of each world.
Yeah. So that was the whole thing.
Junk.
It was like a Futurama as New York,
Yeah.
where they keep going down. And you could see, which was again, I thought was cool for the world, you know?
Right.
It showed that 100 years, they just kept rebuilding over top things. And that's where that guy's from. That's where they found him, the big bad robot. And he thinks he's a better fighter down there, I guess, because it's his home.
Right, and it's dark. He's got night vision, maybe?
But right before that, he murders a dog, a real dog.
A real dog.
Which I did not see coming.
Neither did I. I didn't think they were going to actually do it. I thought Alita would like grab his claw last second, and nope.
But as soon as he kills the real dog, the robot cowboy guy, you could see.
He was so disdained. He was so pissed.
He gets mad, yeah. But he doesn't do anything right there.
No, of course not.
Big pussy. Yeah, he waits for it.
And,
but
what did you think? What did you think about that part where Alita goes down? And she's like, I fight evil. And then she takes the blood. And like, as if she's a football player about to go into the big game, she rubs it on her eyes.
That's her whole thing from the manga and everything. That's her look. And that's what the warriors do for Mars and everything. So
So they just wipe blood on their face like that?
Well, it's any kind of marking.
Oh.
Because that's what she did in the future. She showed her too.
I get it was symbolic. Yeah. I just was a little grossed out by that. I'm like, not my forte.
It was the dog blood. It was blood. Well, not that. It was the dog's blood that I did not enjoy.
Yeah.
Now, if it was like she dipped like into the robot blood or something, that would have been cool. That would have been or even another human that was standing there or something. Yeah,
right.
But the dog, yeah. But she was revenging him, I guess. That was the whole kind of thing. So she jumps down and they fight underground.
Yep.
And it's still a close fight, but she gets her ass kicked. It doesn't even make sense why she follows him underground.
Mm-mm.
I guess she wanted to get answers from him.
Mm-hmm.
But she gets her ass kicked.
She does.
And her body just pops into a bunch of pieces, which I didn't. Which seems to happen quite a bit in the robot world is when you get hit by something, just all your limbs kind of fall off.
Yeah, it just kind of all fly
no matter
off.
where you get
Not
hit.
very secure. I wonder what they're holding those things down with. Just little bolts?
It seems like they are, because as soon as you hit the weak point, they all just come flying off like action figures. But so she's a torso and an arm. She's still fighting this big guy. And she... in a total fucking Karate Kid move, she does like the swan thing where she's on one hand or whatever.
Yeah, and then she comes up.
Just like Karate Kid where Daniel's on one leg. Yeah, she pushes up and she just digs a fucking fist into the guy's eye.
Could not have felt good.
No. Probably hurt. Takes her whole arm off.
It did.
And he's got a big old hand in his eye for most of the rest of the movie. But so she's almost dead. Robot dog guy comes to
the rescue.
And so does Ito. Ito got hurt earlier in this fight somehow. But and then again the bad guy runs away. Dog's chasing him. And that's the last time we see the cowboy guy.
So unfortunate. That was my biggest upset about this whole movie is I love the cowboy guy.
That's the coolest. I mean, that's like showing Boba Fett.
Exactly. And then just killing him off. Yeah.
I know. I just wanted 2 hours to know that guy's backstory of how badass. And we didn't bring it, but there's no guns in this world. Guns are completely outlawed.
Right, they're obsolete.
But the robots use guns. Mm-hmm. So they're not completely obsolete.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but they're just not allowed because I guess that brings more violence. But it's already incredibly violent,
especially with those swords.
Yeah, everyone's got a fucking sword, cutting people in half. So they go back and he rebuilds her. He rebuilds her with a new Martian body that they found in the ship that no one could figure out. Now she's got nanotech. You know, she's super advanced.
Nanotech body, which was an odd scene too because it was like, oh my gosh, it's adapting to her body, but it just made her like a slimmer, more like physique body. That's all it was. There were no add-ons like awesome weaponry or anything. It was just more like, oh, she's
because again at the start, I guess she was supposed to be younger, which is was weird, right? She was supposed to be like a kid. Start,
yeah.
I'm guessing it was supposed to be someone like it was his daughter, Ito.
Right.
But then it is like, but then they make it clear that she's like a woman now.
Woman,
so now it's like okay for her to
it's
kiss.
Like a physique and stuff.
So they had to make that very, because even the nurse, again, it's bad, right? The nurse says, "Oh, like she's a woman now." Because now she's like just slightly bigger boobs and her body is more defined,
like wider hips and stuff.
I guess they had to make that clear, so when her and Hugo kissed, it wasn't him kissing a little kid,
girl. Yeah.
But it wasn't. I mean, I didn't even realize she was a kid in the first place.
Neither did I. I didn't really until they brought it up, and then I was like, "Oh, she was supposed to be a kid."
So that's what the nanotech does. It doesn't show anything else, but gives her. I guess it gives her her old body, which was her original body, right?
Which was the body that she fought on the moon. And
because
Mars
the original body that he put her in was a body built for that little girl, for his daughter,
right?
Because she had some.
That's probably when she died.
Yeah. But now she's got the real body, and he didn't want to put her body, or he didn't want to put her head on this body. He was reluctant at first because, again, because of I have no idea. You think he would have just overall helped everyone with her having this body
in the first place? Yeah, I think we could have saved some time doing that.
I mean, and like you said, the body isn't a huge advancement.
No.
I mean, as far as the fighting goes, she's still kick-ass. She can heal, I guess. She heals super fast now. Because she gets stabbed at one point.
We didn't see that. Yeah, we didn't see that till towards the end.
Yeah, towards the end, yeah. But,
Come to find out that's what the nanotechnology does, is it's a self-healing bodysuit.
Yep. That's about it. And it gives you C cups. Boobs. It gives you some boobs on there.
Yeah, it finally gives you some,
So she's doing that. Now she's got a rocking body, right? She's jumping building to building. She's really in love with Hugo. They figure out this plan. She was actually going to give him his heart to sell.
So beautiful.
Because it's a black matter heart. No one has it. Super expensive.
Worth millions of dollars.
Although, how the fuck is anyone going to use it? I thought no one knew how this technology works. Doesn't make any sense.
Does not.
They end up going back to motorball because they're going to try out because she's going to be really good at motorball.
Yes.
Because she's got this body now. And now Hugo thinks that's their way to take it up because they kind of make out this plan that if she wins,
they'll have enough money to get out of here.
Yeah. So again, a lot of motorball. We're back into now she's trying out for the motorball team.
Right, yeah.
So we got to go through
like
tryouts. We got to go through. So she's trying out, and Vector tells all the other tryouts to try to kill her. Right?
Yeah.
And then
they're actually the hunters.
Yeah, some of them are.
Yeah.
And some of the motorball guys are very large. They're basically just cars.
Mm-hmm. Human cars, yeah.
They're cars.
How big they are.
And they got weapons, but cool. Again, the action scene.
The guy had the double saw blades. I'm like, okay, a little much.
Yeah.
What the
flappy
hell?
arms
and as soon as the race started, he tried to slice her in half. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah. And the announcer, again, he was fine with there being no rules.
Yeah, and then he would even say that too.
From the start,
things are getting out of hand.
From the very start, I know, but he's not surprised.
No, but he's not.
Like he sees this all the goddamn time.
Right.
Like, here we go again. But there's no rules at all. They immediately just start fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they get out of the arena at some point. They're fighting through the city.
Jump through the screen.
The scenes are pretty cool. The CGI, is good.
It's a good chase scene, and
I can imagine that
Hugo are meeting at the church, right?
Movie would have been good in 3D because there's a lot of those scenes that look like it was made specifically for 3D with the tentacles, arms, and everything like that. But
my biggest regret in life is not seeing Spider-Verse in 3D.
You still can, I think. I'm sure there's still
you have to go see that. Yeah.
But so they fight, and she eventually wins, right?
Eventually, yeah, because they're going to the church. She's meeting Hugo at the church, remember?
Well, she wins this motorball fight, right? Oh,
no, because she exits out the screen.
That's right. Yeah. So they're chasing after her.
Right. And there's only 2 left at this point.
Yeah, only 2 bad robots left that are facing. The floppy arm.
Floppy armed one.
With the razors. And I can't remember anything else. But they fight, and Hugo's not even at the tryout. Correct?
No, he's not.
He's doing some other thing that they make clear where he's...
What was he doing? I can't remember now.
It was something for Vector. He was doing like, he was going to tell those guys he's out.
That's right. That's what it was.
Because his friends, so they're going to go tell he's out. He's going clean, of course.
Of course.
But at this point, Vector knows that...
Too little, too late.
Vector knows that Hugo is with Alita, and he sends the pretty boy guy out.
Yep.
British robot guy.
Zappin'.
Yep. He stabs Hugo in the stomach.
Yep. Sword.
Stabs him. Because Hugo has a hit out on his head now.
Because he turned.
And Zappin kind of framed him for killing that one robot guy. Because he never kills robots. So I guess you don't get a bounty on your head if you don't kill anyone. Mm-hmm. You can rob people all you want.
Right. But you can't kill them.
Yeah, but have some fucking rules. I mean, you can't be a monster.
Yeah, have some morals.
You can rob these people, take all their limbs, and leave them for dead. But you cannot kill them. Because as soon as you kill them, you get on the fucking hunter-killer list. So that's what happens. So Zappin kills Hugo for the bounty, right?
Correct.
But it was just to bring Alita out because they're all working for Vector. She kills him. She comes back. He doesn't kill him. I guess he stabs him.
Mm-hmm.
She comes. She kicks his ass, right?
She does.
Am I missing anything?
In the church, but I remember her coming out with no, she doesn't kill him. She does not kill him because she comes out of the church with the head, remember?
Yeah.
And they identified it and said that she got
because because at that point they were saying if you want to be a hunter killer, you got to go kill him and finish the job.
Right.
Because all the robots are down there, and now they got the RoboCop robots are out there also, and they're like, all right, you got to finish this. She goes in there, and Jennifer Connelly is a fucking teleporter in this movie. She's just everywhere. She's at the bar. She's at the motor ball. She's at the fucking church for this giant world.
And again, no character development because all of a sudden she just has a change of heart out of nowhere and just decides not to be a bad guy anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on. I mean, okay,
but
that's fine,
she's
but
appearing
please tell me why.
Everywhere. She's
everywhere. Yeah.
She's in the church already.
Right. I'm like, what the?
Somehow she was like knowing they would go. No idea.
It doesn't explain that either.
But so she tells him that she can save Hugo. Right. She's got to cut his head off and put his head on a robot body. Right. Alita does. She's like okay with it. She cuts his head off. She comes out, shows Zappin the robots that she killed him.
And if you look very carefully, you can see the two veins still hooked up, so the blood's still pumping through his.
And Zappin sees this. He knows that even anybody still lets it go, I guess.
Yeah, because the robots, the RoboCop things, identified him as dead, and they said, "Okay, bounty complete." And then he tried to kill her, and they said, "Warning, violation."
But you think he could have just grabbed the fucking the blanket or the head or anything and be like, "Oh, this guy's still alive"? Yeah. Are the robots that technology
unadvanced? Yeah, where they just scan it and go, "Ah, you're all good." We do not understand basic computing skills.
No rules in this movie.
None.
But so she gets away with that, or actually Zappin. He tries to fight her because he's an idiot,
right?
Or she kind of baits him into fighting because she knows, and she cuts his face off.
She does, and he freaks out.
But it doesn't kill him. Again, I don't understand.
I guess you can cut people's faces off and they still live. And then what was weird too was
get a new face. Is that your face?
Well, that was the thing about the face too. It was literally just a face, so it wasn't even his head. Yeah. So like, how is he still alive? And now that you cut the one human part off of him, and now he's like completely robot. Is he a robot? Is he a human? Why does he care about his fucking face if he's a robot?
No, can he not just get a new exact face?
Yeah, a same skin graft or something. Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
But he did not like that.
No, he was pissed
because he's why does he even care about his looks? I don't understand.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like
he's not
not getting laid either. Yeah, so
you don't got a dick.
You're you're a bounty hunter, man. Like chill. Your stupid mohawk.
And his like futuristic goatee, the plug or whatever.
Oh man.
But so Ito transfers Hugo's head to the robot.
Yeah.
All right. And Jennifer Connelly, she goes back up to Vector and says she can't do it anymore. She doesn't want to do it. She's out.
She's done.
Had to change her heart. No idea why. Vector doesn't like that. I'll just tell you what he does. He, for some reason, takes her hand, her eyes, and her brains. And apparently, Nova, the main bad guy, does experiments on that.
I guess.
It seems like some old school experiments.
Puts her in a case or something?
Yeah, and he says that's the only way that they go up is if they go up because he likes experiments on the brains and stuff. It's so weird. Like, just have cadavers.
Yeah.
Just do it. I know. But, so there was no real way that she was ever going to get up there. Transfer Hugo's head. Hugo wakes up. Of course, Hugo's doing dumb shit. He doesn't know. He doesn't like it. He's not that mad that he's a robot, which I thought would have been more of a storyline. But again,
he's got this self-realization that now he's a cyborg instead of a human being. Yeah.
But I guess, that's like, why is not everyone just a cyborg? Live forever. The whole reason people are down there was like, oh, it's so shitty. Like, they're all struggling to survive. Why not everyone be a robot and leave the city? You're a robot.
Yeah.
Again, they need
have
food.
That option.
I did not understand the food.
You got to stop bringing this up because you're just making me mad.
It's making me upset, yeah.
Because it doesn't make any sense.
But so Hugo, so Alita eventually follows because Alita's got to leave Hugo. She's got some other business to do. She's got to go kill Vector, right? Mm-hmm. She goes into the Vector's office, his tower or whatever, and
she's pissed at this point.
She's pissed, yeah.
She's pissed.
She's thrown around Vector.
Mm-hmm.
Vector then Nova takes over Vector.
Yep.
Nova does some cool, and this is probably the best dialogue in the whole film is when Nova is talking.
Right.
Because it's cool because he's a cool bad guy where he doesn't care about any of these people at all.
No, he
doesn't. They're all just puppets.
They're all just pawns. Yeah, they're all just.
He doesn't care. Even though Vector is powerful up and is a powerful puppet, he can always just get a new one.
Well, that's what he said too.
Yeah.
As he was dying.
But Alita kills. She kills Vector anyways, even though he's a puppet, because he's still a bad guy.
Still a dick.
And Nova, and it gives Nova one less puppet. And Grushinska is still alive. He comes through. He
comes through that glass door with some steam. He's not too happy.
Finally, and this is before she kills Vector, but so they fight. She kills him finally.
Yeah, about time. The whole damn movie it took to kill this one guy.
Well, that guy kept dying and then kept running up. Yeah. Kills him, kills Vector, shows Jennifer Connelly's dead, goes back to Hugo, right?
No, up on the giant.
Yeah, that's what I meant. She goes back to him,
and she's chasing him up there
because he's climbing.
Hugo,
because he finally thinks he has the power because he's a robot.
Yeah, he's a jackass.
He's a dick. He does not. Again, another stupid decision. He's climbing.
He's full of them.
Which is like, yeah.
The guy's full of them. He's just a terrible decision maker. I don't know why she fell in love.
The whole time he even talks about, he's like, if I had the body, I'd climb that. Like, no one's tried climbing that.
Right.
It's the only way up there.
In hundreds of years, you're the first asshole to think of that? Come on, man.
But he tries climbing it. Nova knows that he's climbing it. Sends down the razor. Here again, his body pops into a million pieces.
Yeah.
They're hanging off the side of the
big dramatic moment.
She's got this super body, but she's not strong enough to throw that 4-pound torso up. Are you kidding me?
That was the same thing I was thinking. I was like, are you kidding?
Remember, because she's hanging out. She's so strong. She punctured this steel and she's hanging on it, but she can't hold on up. She can't lift him up. And she's got to drop him. And she drops him. And he dies. We're led to believe.
And I don't care.
I think he died.
Yeah.
You know, why couldn't you go get his body and put him in a...
yeah. I mean, unless his brain was crushed, but probably on the fall.
Yeah, but...
But either way, like, again, like...
Could she not have jumped down and landed?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, even she lands, her legs, they break. She can heal again.
That's true, yeah.
She seemed like there was about 100 ways out of this to where she could have lived.
Yeah.
But that's it. She ends up, but she's got vengeance now. But she swears she's going to kill Nova.
Right. And then at the end of the movie, she's like a professional motorball player.
Oh, yeah, she's back at motorball.
I'm like, what?
Oh, because she still has to get into the championship.
Right.
To survive. Yeah.
And she like holds up the sword to Hugo, or not Hugo.
Yeah. And it's like, who's going to fucking even allow her in there, even if she wins?
Right.
Nova's running the whole...
Exactly. He's running the whole city.
Do you think he's so fucking adamant about these rules? Oh, she won. I got it.
I got morals. She's in. Got to do what you got to do.
I guarantee this movie was kind of that dumb where that could definitely be the whole premise of the second one. know for a fact we're gonna see a lot more Motorball if we ever get to see.
I know. Yeah, we will.
But that's in the movie. We get that she's like vows vengeance to Nova, and at the very last scene, Nova takes his owl glasses off, and we find out who's it. Edward Norton, the man himself. I love Edward Norton.
Great, but I'm confused why he did.
Wish he was in more. Wish he was in
more of the film, but
not sure how they even got him into this.
When he's not even on the top bill here, not even close.
Oh no, he was uncredited.
He's uncredited.
It was purely a cameo. I'm guessing they were. Did you see that Michelle Rodriguez was in it as Gelda, one of the bad robots?
Really?
Yeah. Michelle Rodriguez was the robot that trained Alita.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, are you talking about in the flashbacks?
The one that kind of looked like her. That was Michelle Rodriguez.
Yep.
Odd. Didn't look anything like her.
You know, I saw a slight resemblance, though. I did.
I had no idea. I thought it was almost the same Alita character playing her. Because I'm guessing they were all kind of supposed to look alike because they're all the same model of robot or something. I don't know. Very confusing movie.
All right. Well, we're going to give our review on this, Cash.
Yeah, Mace, what did you think about this?
All right. I'll sum it up for y'all. Everyone listening at home or at work. You know what? If you want to go see a movie, if you don't really care about a story, yes, it is a movie. If you want to go see a movie, this is a movie. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's a feature film. That's the best I can say about it. Best I can say.
It runs about 2 hours long.
About 2 hours, yes.
2 hours of change. It's got all the workings of a movie.
You know, like, the CGI and the action was really good. Like, I do have to credit this film on that. Like, as far as entertaining me, it did entertain me. Like, I enjoyed all the fight sequences. But is this a movie that if you're trying to get this deep sci-fi story that's super intricate, not a chance in hell this movie's going to do that, because there are so many unanswered questions. There's no answers on like the tech of the science. There's no really answers in general about the storyline, but it is cool to watch. I did like it for the action aspects of it. Just do not expect anything amazing out of this movie. So for me, this gets a D+.
D+.
Yeah, not a good rating, but
no, I'm the same way. Where it's like it seemed like it was supposed to be much deeper than what they were playing at, as it were. It was like all this history and all the thing, but it was just kind of glazed over. The action was cool, but again, when you're watching the action, it's literally it's all CGI. So at that point, it's a cartoon. I mean, it's great action, but I still have a problem with CGI. But the dialogue was just lame as hell. I mean, it was cheesy. It wasn't the best. Every time she talked, there was like a one-liner or something that they were trying to get at. It was very odd. Again, not enough background of what the world was. I would have liked to got into it. I mean, if they make a sequel, I'm gonna go see the sequel. I want to know where. It goes.
I want to know
where they're gonna go at it with it.
Totally,
I agree. At least want to see that much. So, and again, it's one of those films.
Again, it could. Yeah, you're right. It's one of those films where it could be like just a giant setup.
Yeah, it's
for the sequel,
and the sequel could be fucking amazing. It's one of those films where I left entertained, but it still just did not seem like a good movie to me. I was entertained the entire 2 hours, but it was just
I was so torn on this movie too, and a D+ sounds like a really bad rating, but. I like a good story.
Same.
I didn't feel like I got a good story. I got good action. If you're an action fan, you'll love it. Or like even a basic sci-fi.
And again, it's not horrible. Like,
no,
it's not unwatchable. It's not the worst movie. I'm
definitely not.
I'm right there. I'm right there with D+, C-.
Yeah.
I'm hovering right around. If it was a number, it'd probably be a 68 or 67.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I gave it a D+ too, because that was kind of where I was. I was like in the 65 to 69 range.
Yeah, something up there, but not. I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna go. I would like to see something. I would like to see a second one though. Honestly, I'd like to see more of that cowboy.
Yeah, so would I. I'd like to see him come back in the second one.
What the dogs are doing.
I know. I'm gonna have to hit James Cameron up, tell him to add the cowboy in the sequel. Please.
I want a full 2 hour, because even in that scene, it seemed like he was always gonna stick up for her.
Yeah,
it seemed like he was even gonna do it earlier. Like
it seemed like he was part of the team. Yeah,
but hell no, he didn't want any part of it.
He didn't.
He didn't barely even talk, but I thought that was gonna be a cameo of someone.
The cowboy?
Yeah,
it would have been. No.
You could have had like Sam Elliott or.
That would have been awesome. Having Sam Elliott cameo in this like
awesome.
that,
Yeah.
that would have been sick. That would have been really
awesome.
Cool. With his fucking mustache,
giant
handled by,
mustache and his robot chin,
yeah,
all his dogs and everything. Yeah, it would have been like a 20-second cameo.
Would have been great. Alrighty.
All right.
This is episode 119. You can find us on YouTube. Type in "Have you seen it?" Episode 119. This is Alita Battle Angel. Spoilers. At the very end. Hilarious. We're on Twitter. Seen It Podcast. Cash is on Twitter. That's just Cash. Got our Instagram page. Have you seen it? SCENE. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, anywhere where you guys can find podcasts. We are there. We don't mess around here.
Nope.
So yeah. Until next time.
Adios. Keep your eye out for those robots.